Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. It's Friday. Happy Friday, TGIF. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let's get started on a developing story. It is always developing when Derick Dillard is talking. And when he speaks, he always has so much to say about Jim Bob Duggar, counting on TLC and the Duggar family. The Duggar family has been on our airways for almost more than a decade. We were introduced to them back in the mid 2000s, and we have been graced by a family whose biggest reason for being famous is having a zillion children. Counting On entered the screens this week, debuting and premiering their next season with a family night via Zoom, and it was very noticeable that Jill and Derick were not invited to the family. That's because the family that appears on TV is not exactly the real family of the Duggars. Now, Derick has long asserted that reality TV is fake. We already know that most reality TV is completely scripted, even though producers say it's not, gathering whatever moments they feel will make the best storyline, as well as, that whole, we're going to put out a narrative that there's nothing to see here and we're the perfect family, and there you go. The Duggars are never messy. They never show arguments. They never show anything that's negative, which makes them probably the most blah TV show on the planet. But the reality is quite different, and Derick Dillard has been screaming that for a very long time. We should have known that, though, because back in 2015 there was that whole scandal that came out about Josh Duggar. Okay, so Derick started throwing some shade last couple days ago when TLC shared their promotional photo on their Instagram account. Derick has been doing his best to update on Instagram and provide all kinds of snarky comments and share his insight into what is going on around them. One of the things that I actually noticed when I was looking through something was I jumped over to Derick's actual Instagram page, and I found this a little bit funny. Funny in a, oh my gosh, that is so savage. I can't believe you're saying this. Oh my gosh, this is so incredibly on point. Now, when you jump on over to Derick's official Instagram page, you see the following. Official Instagram of Derick Dillard, reformed counting on cast member, and hashtag enlightened, implying that now he knows better, he is enlightened, and he is going to tell everyone else about what he knows. And what does he know? Well, he claims to know a lot. For instance, when he has been answering questions about what is going on in the show, fans were making all kinds of claims about how great of a person that Jim Bob Duggar was. For instance, one of the first things that I noticed when I looked for his latest comments was a comment that said this from a fan. I don't believe that they blamed the girls or told them to get over it. They got them help. I have a right to my opinion, same as you. I say Derick is out for money. Furthermore, there is nothing he is doing right now that's protecting his family. You aren't going to tell me that out of all of the kids that are married, they are keeping this big family secret. Nope, not buying it. Derick Dillard said, but how does it support them? In reference to the girls. Now, the girls, they claim received help, but Derick actually indicated when I spoke to him that Jill is now for the first time in therapy, and she is seeking help for everything that she dealt with as a child. And one of the biggest things that she's working on is establishing boundaries. Now, interestingly, Jill is notoriously quiet when it comes to this kind of stuff, and usually relies on her husband. A lot of people have insisted that Jill does not support her husband, and there was this In Touch article from a family source that Jill wanted Derick to shut up. Now, I asked Derick point blank, does Jill get angry at you for telling or speaking out about her family? And he said, absolutely not. Everything that I do and say is 100% like run by Jill. I would never say anything or put out anything that would harm her or she would not feel comfortable with. She is my first priority. She and my family are my first priority, and I would never want to hurt her. So he insisted that everything that he says is she's okay with. So Jill, who doesn't typically speak out and say directly things, has been giving us subtle hints, and her response to this is 100% perfect. She did a clapping hands on her Instagram stories that said, don't trade your authenticity for approval. I 100% believe that this is directed at her family, because in this IBLP cult, the girls are taught to be submissive, keep sweet, and to obey the authority of the male figure, whether it's your father or your husband. There is no necessarily autonomy because you never are supposed to think for yourself. You are supposed to always be thinking of others. How can I help others? Why would I be mad at others? Why I need to forgive others? Why I need to think good thoughts for others. You're not supposed to think bad thoughts. You're not supposed to act bad. You're not supposed to be angry. You're always supposed to be happy. And it turns people into robots, according to Amy Duggar King, who told me that when she was on a live stream with me when she attended an IBLP conference with the family years and years and years ago. Okay, so she says, don't trade your authenticity for approval. Basically, don't be afraid to be who you are just to make your father or mother approve. She has done plenty of things to show that she literally doesn't care. She's got her nose pierced. She wears pants. She wears tank tops. I mean, it's getting to a point, you guys, where my subscribers send me something of what Jill does, and I'm like, yeah, she's been doing that for years. Like, what are we surprised about now? Like, she's had her nose pierced for years. She's been wearing pants for years. She's been wearing tank tops for years. The girl literally is completely freed of this, and obviously still deconstructing all of it, but I don't think we're going to be surprised when we see things that she's doing. If she pops open a bottle of alcohol, then maybe I'll start like being very shocked. But Derick admitted that he drinks beer from time to time. So another thing that one of the people talked about was that, and what of my subscribers have been saying on Instagram and on Twitter, is that they're really not happy that Jim Bob is back. In fact, I did a poll on Twitter. 41% of the people that I polled said that they are going to no longer watch Counting On because of the added screen time of Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle Duggar. Now, it's a small sample size, but still. Those people that follow me that watch Counting On are done, most of them, the majority of them. The other 40% probably just don't know what it is because maybe they follow me because of, Shane Dawson or some beauty drama, who knows. When we start talking about how they've been slowly bringing in more and more and more of Jim Bob, and he'd had so much screen time in the first episode, people were annoyed on TLC's website or on their Instagram. This is what someone said on their post. I thought this show was about the next generation with the Duggar children and grandchildren. I really don't like seeing so much of Jim Bob on the show. Rather film the way it was after the Josh scandal and keep the focus on the children and not Jim Bob. After tonight's episode and so much of Jim Bob, I will stop watching. Derick Dillard said, I agree. It's a deceptive business plan designed to defraud the public with deceptive marketing and deceptive implications in order to maintain a viewing base. So TLC said they would not have Jim Bob on the show and the mom after everything happened. In fact, they canceled 19 and Kids and Counting. But, with them back now, fans are like, I'm done. I'm not going to watch this anymore. And then, a lot of people don't like Derick because of the things that happened back in 2017 when he made statements about Jazz Jennings. Now, he has done tons of different ways of trying to clear this up, but nobody really cares, and everyone wants to label him a certain way. And listen, I get it. If you feel that way, you're entitled to feel that way. But when people don't people then decide that because of those comments, they believe that he is a liar, and so therefore we shouldn't trust anything he says. So this fan said, Derick got fired from TLC because he made comments about Jazz. And then Derick tells people that they're stealing money from the kids. And a video of supposedly Mrs. Duggar was yelling at Johanna, and the video did not show that. Derick is destroying Jill from having her family. I think he's rude and makes comments about others. He is not godlike at all. And he actually responded quite snarkily to this and said, it's okay, we're in counseling now. No more ABUSE hashtag. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. There's obviously always going to be so much question about, is Derick doing this to be exploitative? Is he money hungry? I don't know, honestly. He's in law school, and he said that his decision to be in law school was related to personal experiences that he and his family went through. I'm guessing related to the 2015 stuff that came out about Jill and everything that she has been through, and perhaps he wants to be more helpful to children. And he has talked very openly about wanting to advocate and help children that are vulnerable and be protected from networks that he feels don't have the best interests of children at heart, and from family members that use greed and corruption in order to use their children to make money, along with deception of not being honest about what's going on in the home. There's also been a lot of questions about, what is he actually doing to help these kids at home? Well, the thing is that they're not allowed to actually spend time with them without someone around. So Jill doesn't get to see her siblings unless Jim Bob is there, her mom, or Jana. And if they're not there, Jill has no way to actually interact with them, which means there's no way for her to sit down with them and be like, hey, you guys, it's okay. You don't have to live like this. Like, in order for them to spend time together, they have to kind of keep the peace. And she can't really say to people, hey, you don't have to live like this, right? And because Jill doesn't have the opportunity to sit down with them and tell her siblings that they don't have to live like this, the only method that Derick and Jill have is by actually going onto Instagram and talking, or going on social media and talking. So Jill will post things about no longer being a slave to fear, don't lose your authenticity over approval. She drops little things for her sisters, I think, constantly, and for her siblings. And then Derick goes out and actually says the things that he's not afraid to say that maybe Jill is still afraid to say because she doesn't want to go against her parents. But I found it interesting because one person on Instagram asked Derick, and this kind of one person on Instagram said to Derick, do you think more of the kids will leave? And the fan said, do you think any of the other siblings will break free? And Derick said, I sure hope so. And that response by Derick had me thinking, this discussion that's going on Instagram, these discussions that are happening by him that appear to be for the public, I think they're also for the siblings. Not only is it, hey, you guys, please hear me when I say this, but you guys can leave. And I sure hope you will leave. You don't have to live like this. Nobody has to live like this. You have free will. You have freedom. You don't have to stay in a situation where your father is making you do things under the guise or under a threat that things will happen if you don't comply. You are adults. Leave. Go. Find your own way. You don't have to stay in this situation. There's freedom out there. There's freedom of thought. There's freedom of choice. There's freedom to be authentic. There's freedom to be who you want to be. Jill is becoming who she wants to be. And none of the other girls have really followed suit yet. They're still robotic. Even if, say, Ginger has left and gone off with Jeremy, she is Jeremy's robot. Jeremy's robot for Jesus. Jessa is a robot for her parents because she'll do and say pretty much anything to get whatever she needs from her parents. So do they want them to break free? Yeah, I think they do. Are they saying this because they want to help them break free? Yes, I think they do. I also think they want the greater public to wake up and say, hey, what we're seeing here and what's going on here is not okay. We need to stop this. So I want to know what your thoughts are. What do you think about all of the things that he is saying, about Jill breaking her silence, about Derick changing his Instagram, about all the different things that he is saying about how the father has not protected the kids, it's not helping the family, and about the siblings breaking free? Do you agree that the siblings need to break free? Do we need to free Jana? I mean, seriously, that's like a hashtag. Somebody in my comments yesterday said, free bunk bed Jed, right? He's literally running for office and he lives in a bunk bed. Anyways, so tell me what your thoughts are. What more needs to be done for us to sort of wake up to this problem and stop what's happening and helping these kids? I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.